It was kind of fun to read through these questions and think about how I might respond to interview questions about the use of technology. When I interviewed for the position I'll have in the fall, there was quite a bit of emphasis on technology, and I found myself answering those questions very specific because I interviewed within the district and already had a lot of knowledge about the technology initiative as it's going to occur in Marshalltown. I've really concentrated on very, very detailed information, and so when I looked through this assignment and was kind of reflecting on how I answered some of these questions and how I might respond in a district where I wasn't quite as knowledgeable about what their level of technology usage was, I think I've taken a more balcony view. At least that's what I hope I've done. So my view of the principal's role in technology use is to model professional educational use. I think we as leaders have to feel comfortable with the kinds of technology devices and the strategies that we're expecting others in the building to implement. We need to encourage the early adapters and innovators, and we need to support financially these types of programs. And obviously we have to be mindful of providing the right kind of professional learning for all of the staff. Understanding that teachers are going to be very different along the continuation of technology usage, and we're going to need to differentiate their instruction, just like we do quality differentiation for our students. The expansion of one-to-one computing, I do not believe overall will be viewed as a fad when we look back 50 years from now. It is an important development. Although I do think have to be wary of creating an even larger digital divide between students. I'm particularly concerned with sending devices home with students when in our district a small population of students is going to have access to the internet, where a much larger percentage of our households would not have access to the internet. So I'm at this point in time, in our district, more concerned with using technology as an equalizer, not as a divider. So I really like, for our district's idea of using the devices in the classroom and having classroom sets, and initially limiting their use to the specific classroom, and kind of waiting to see how the community responds in order to create systems for families who can't afford it to be able to access some sort of prorated access for internet. Technology that I currently use as an educator, I have a laptop, a desktop, and an iPad, and a smartphone. I'm very familiar with the Google suite. I've created websites with different formats for both professional learning and also for classroom use with my students. Familiar with all the social kinds of media that's out there. Do have a Twitter account and have used it. Don't find myself drawn to that. And probably still using most of my computing time with databases, spreadsheets, Word documents, but I enjoy learning new things, and so I anticipate that I'll be able to keep up with whatever, however the teachers want to go in the building with their technology use. I see myself just moving right along with them. Technology tools that I'm most interested in learning more about would be things like Moodle and Blackboard 9. I see as we move classrooms to a more digital format that those are going to be very, very good types of tools for teachers to have. And I know personally I've never set up a Moodle or a Blackboard 9 system, so that would be kind of where my next learning I think will go. technology tools that I think are most useful to educators, any kind of tool that will increase communication. Communication between teacher and student, student to student, teacher to teacher, student to parents, parents in the community, you name it. Anything that will improve communication has got to be used. I also see a very important role for content-specific computing. I'm thinking particularly in science, that students who are going on to more advanced sciences be familiar with electronic data gathering type systems. Students who are going on to to study math, need to be familiar with some of the more complex mathematical computing systems. And I think all students need to have basic knowledge of whatever the current popular softwares are used in employment. We definitely have to make certain that our students, as they graduate high school, have that basic knowledge to be able to walk into an interview anywhere and say, sure, I can use internet searches. I know how to do work with spreadsheets and set up databases, and I can set up a very simple website, those types of things. I also think a use for technology that we're just beginning to think about now in education is the power that digital types of learning can allow teachers and students to differentiate. That's an area that we know classroom teachers are constantly struggling with. It's all about the time and having the time to create the kinds of differentiation for practice and for assignments and for whatever learning types of environments. And I see one of the real powers of technology is going to make that part of teachers' lives a little bit easier after the teachers learn how to use the technology themselves. So I really see that in districts with lots and lots of different languages spoken in the classroom, there's just more and more freeware out there that easily translates between languages, will bring up different levels of reading ability of similar topics. Those are just new and emerging technologies, which I suspect are just going to continue to explode. So the other thing we need to recognize is that we have a population of young people that need to learn to code and that need to learn to program. And there's a real opportunity there for entrepreneurship, and we all know that that's not age dependent. And I really know that in our district we're not providing those kinds of opportunities to students on a regular basis. So I wonder if some of our technology literacy curriculum needs to be re-examined and differentiated. So those students who don't need to learn how to do another Word document maybe can get an introduction to some of the different computer languages, and we can begin allowing them opportunities to explore that avenue. Certainly, we're going to need more coders and programmers as the current technology boom continues. But I do think that probably one of the most important roles of a school leader is to recognize the importance that technology brings to the classroom, and it's really not just about funding the devices, the purchases of those types of things, but also giving teachers the background that they need, and then the permission to use those devices and become creative and innovative in their use.